Hey everyone, Timothy Hughes of timothyhughes.com here. Today we're going to take a look at editing and sky swapping two cityscape photos in Luminar 4 which I picked up yesterday. Let's start. I keep the images I want to retouch on an SSD drive, and here we're loading one of those files into Luminar. This is an aerial photo of LA I took earlier this year from a helicopter. I've processed it in Photoshop RAW, but I think the sky could benefit from adding some little puffy clouds. So here we use the sky replacement, and I'm going into my cloud archive that I have started assembling and putting in some of those puffy clouds we talked about. So there they are. It's in, and it did a pretty decent job of blending it so far. So we can view the before and after here, and we're going to look for mistakes that the app made that we can correct. So what I'm seeing is in some of the signage, the clouds overlapped the LED signs. So we're going into erase here. We made a mask and we're using a paintbrush, and we're just going to erase some of the sky where it overlapped those LED signs. So I didn't use 100% opacity on that. That would be way too much. So we're just gently brushing some of the original photo really back into what we're working on here with the erase. So we'll do a little bit at a time, and then we will check it again, check the before and after, and see how it's doing, just to make sure we didn't overreach with our erase tool. And it's not super fast. It's not 100% in real time, I would say, so you got to be slightly patient with it. Okay, so let's check how that worked. All right, so pretty good. We're definitely getting there. It overlapped quite a bit of the sky in that Pepsi building over there. I think it's a Pepsi building. I don't know. So we're going to just continue to erase some of that sky off of that. And let's see how that did. I think we're getting there. Yep, that all looks good. So those were the default settings. Now we're going into the AI enhancer. And by sliding that to the right, you can see it brightens up the lower portion of the image. And it's nice. I like it, but we don't want to overdo that. So I think I left that at about 20. Now here's the sky enhancer, the AI sky enhancer, which sort of saturates the sky and sort of adds some vignetting from what I can tell. I used about 20 of that, and what I found is it kind of oversaturated this cloud on the top right. So I'm going to use the mask again to erase some of the work that AI sky enhancer did. And I think that looks pretty believable there. I just didn't want it oversaturated. So yeah, I like that. Looking at the two, I think we've got a very good improvement here for the few minutes that we spent on it. But looking at it again, I noticed I wasn't completely happy with the sky overlap on this. So I'm just going to erase a little bit more out of it. I don't know why it overlapped so much on that light building, but it did. So that's probably pretty believable there. You could go in and mask it even more carefully if you felt like it. So now you need to click that edit mask again to complete the mask. Then once that's done, we can open it in Photoshop for our final save and sharpening and everything. Okay, there it is in Photoshop. You can zoom in if you want to make sure that it didn't add any artifacts or anything like that, digital artifacts. You will notice that Luminar uses Melissa color space, which is not a standard color space. So what I do is I save that to ProPhoto or sRGB. Luminar also saves the TIFF files in a very strange place in the system files, and that's not where it belongs. So reroute where you're saving this file to, save it as an LZW compressed TIFF, and we're done. Okay, here's the second photo we're going to work on today, another aerial shot of LA. I think it's going to benefit from this golden sunset here. I tried this earlier and it seems to work pretty nice. We're going to blend some of this. We're going to try to shift the blending on it and see if that helps. This one was tricky with the blending. There's mountains in the background, and they're subtle. They're so far away. So Luminar had a hard time deciding where the horizon ended. So we just have to be careful. We're going to use a mask again. We're going to use the erase mask again, which I tend to use quite a bit. I can see the overlap of the sky and the mountains in the background right there. So we're going to make a bigger brush. Those are the bracket keys, just like Photoshop, to make a bigger and smaller brush. And we just got to be a little bit patient because it's not as fast as Photoshop. Hopefully they can optimize that though. So zooming in on it, we're getting close, getting closer with it. So that was adequate mask, I thought. So we are now going to go into AI Enhance. We're going to push it further than we need to see what it does, and then we're going to bring it back so it's a believable amount. So about 20. And then Sky Enhance, that just kind of muddies up the sky in this one if you'd give too much. So I'm going to leave that at about 20. And AI Enhance at 10. And let's look at the two. Okay, there's an artifact there that I zoomed in on and it kind of disappeared again, and then I am pulling back and I don't see the artifact, but it's really interesting. So we do have to look for things like that. It's on the left side of the screen. So we're simply going to open that in Photoshop now and use the healing brush to fix that digital artifact in there. And save it as a TIFF, and we are done.